today we're going to do an unboxing. It's all because of this watch right here. This is my new favorite watch. I've been wearing it since I got it, and I've learned a lot. I didn't buy the watch because of what it is. Okay, now people refer to this as the 55 Fathoms, the Seiko 55 Fathoms. It's about a 42 millimeter case. It is based upon, as far as the aesthetics go, the overall design, what's called the 50 Fathoms by Blancpain. Now you guys can do your research on that. That's really the first official dive watch, at least the first one that you could go out and buy in a store. And their specs just blew the doors off of every other watch manufacturer at the time. A lot of cool history about it. We're going to fast forward to 1962 because this watch is based upon the Blancpain from that time period. However, there was an issue. By the way, this is, let's just look at it. It is, it's the True North Company. We're going to go to the website as well in this video. And it's really fascinating what this guy did here with this watch. So it doesn't come with much. You know, you're just going to throw this box away. The watch is in here. I haven't even looked at this stuff yet. The True North Watch Company. That's nice. Not quite thick enough to pick a lock with, but very cool. Blackfish, water resistant. Don't wear your watch in the shower. This is true. The reason for it is if you're exposing your watch to hot water, it's going to change and it can allow moisture into the case. So hot tubs, showers, things like that, you want to avoid it. A quick dip in and out, that's one thing that's different, but you should avoid it at all costs. It's a real interesting character. The guy, like I said, I'll show you the website here in a moment. So here's the watch. Now this is actually, I guess, you know, people like using that word homage. It's a copy of the Tornek-Rayville. So let's pull the plastic off of this. Yeah, there's plastic on the back. So it's on a NATO strap. The story with the Tornek-Rayville is this. The Navy SEALs actually liked, oh, it fell right off there. They actually liked the Blancpain watch, but there was a thing with the U.S. military at the time where it was they could only use U.S.-made products at the time. So this dude, his last name was Tornek, he made a deal with Blancpain, and on the dial it would say typically Tornek dash with a hyphen and then Rayville, which I believe was the town where the watches were made or where they were first designed. And that was a way for them to get around this Buy America Pact thing only. And this is a pretty good copy of it from the pictures I've seen. Even to the point where on the back of this watch, it's pretty cool. It says, if found, return to nearest military facility. It's got the radiation symbol. I'm sure it says non-radiation. I don't have my readers on. You guys can see that on the screen, I suppose. Let's zoom it in a hair. There we go. Radioactive material. So I guess this original one still had the radioactive material on the hands. That was a problem. Now, after this, they have a different little circle. See that circle in the center there, or just above the 6? They actually had one with the radioactive dial that said non-radioactive on it because people were nervous about it. What you see here is actually a moisture meter. So what this does is it will change color if water or moisture gets into the case, and that lets you know when you're diving that you can't trust the watch. So we just got painted on indices on here. They are, I think on the website I remember seeing that they did something with this lume where they make it look vintage. It's a vintage lume. I think it's supposed to be a sapphire crystal. It is a domed crystal. Is there a sticker on here? Oh, look at that. I believe that's a sticker. I don't think my fingernail is just scratching that off. There's some sort of protective coating. You'd think that'd come off easier, wouldn't you? I'll play with that. I can't imagine that that's supposed to be blue. That's got to be a protective coating on there. So I'll get the rest of that off in a moment. Ooh. Well, there's a little back play. So this watch retails on the website for a lot of money. I think it's like $500 or so. And it was an interesting thing with this one. It does line up well. But yeah, there's definitely playback, a little back play on this bezel. The originals, you had to push down to change the bezel. Let's see if this has got. So this is a I thought this is not a screw down crown. I thought I read it was a screw down crown. So it's not a screw down crown, which makes this watch more of just a cosmetic looker. I could have sworn I read that it was a screw down, but I guess it's not. So if it's just a pull out, that's why it's only water resistant to 100. It is a hacking. There's 2 clicks. So it might have a date movement inside, but obviously there's no date on the dial here. So slightly disappointing about that, but I saw this on there, and most of them were listed pretty high. I will point out a couple of features here. It is bead blasted, the finish on here, which is consistent with the original. You didn't want any glare. I think that was more about when they came out of the water, the shiny steel cases were reflecting too much light into your eyes when you came out of the water. I read that somewhere. It does have drilled lugs. It's not a terrible band. I believe it's just a 40 millimeter case, which is like really, that's about as minimum as I'd want to go. I'm going to go ahead and put that on. Here it is next to the 55 fathoms from Seiko. So you can see the design similarities. So this was listed as starting bid at $150. And I think I was like, I don't know if I like it that much. But it's the closest one I saw. Of course, again, I'm a little disappointed. I didn't realize it didn't have a screw down crown. So I waited till about 8 minutes in the auction, and I bid on it, thinking they would just outbid me at the end, because I knew something was wrong with that number. And then seconds before the end of the auction, it just disappeared. And I thought, okay, they feel like they're not getting enough money for this watch. But then later that evening, I got a second chance to buy it, and I went for it. Just, you know, I have this one now. I have a Thorn coming as well, and the Thorn is a closer version to the original Blancpain from the 1950s. And it'll be interesting to compare that watch with this watch. Clearly, this is a 10-year later version. But I like the look of this because it just says US on the dial. So to me, this most closely resembles the original Tornek-Rayville. But, yeah. I mean, this is not a screw-down crown either, right? And this also doesn't even hack. So the fact that, now this is supposed to be a Miyota movement. We'll look at the website. I believe this is the higher end movement. That's 28,800 beats per hour. You can see that second hand moving. Pretty smooth. I'm going to put this on. Okay, 7 5/8" wrist. 40 millimeter case. While I'm not keen on nylon on my skin, I'll keep this like this because it's correct, and I'll sport this from time to time, I think. We'll see how it goes. You know, the original versions of the Blancpain have what you would call a life preserver bezel insert. It's raised. It's got like, it's like there's like a bubble to it. I don't think the Thorn has that, but when I was on, I ordered a watch off AliExpress. That's going to be the Thorn, and it was $50 or $60 cheaper than what you'd find on eBay, but it's coming from China direct, so it's going to take some time to get here. And I saw another watch for like $60. I couldn't believe it. It's a bizarre looking watch. It doesn't even have a name. It's got a 4 o'clock crown. It's got the life preserver bezel insert, and it's spec'd as well as in either of these watches, and I believe it has a screw down crown as well. I had to try it. So for the price of for the price of one watch on eBay, I got 2 watches, including one I want coming. And I just want to put, you know, that Thorn next to the Seiko 55 and this one here, so you guys can see what the comparisons, like what they really look like next to one another. And you can see the history right in front of your eyes. And how, and again, this watch here, what they call the 55 Fathoms, the Seiko, also with a domed crystal, you guys may recall, it's got a couple good scratches on the glass here. You don't see it when you're wearing it, and I got this for $86 because of that. I did put this band on. The interesting thing about this watch is that people want well over $200, and some people want as much as over $500 for this watch right now. It's hard to find these at a good, you know, I don't know. I think those are probably pretty fair prices for what this is. And I'm late to the game, guys, with all of this. You know, this is all new to me, like getting into this hobby, discovering that I really dug on this, learning the history, wanting to have something like this, right, for the history of it. I'm going to have to light this up and give you a Lume shot of it as well. Let's jump over to the website. If I could set my camera up where I could show my computer screen. Maybe I'll get this cleaned off too. So bear with me for a moment. So here's your Lume. It's pretty, I like that they lumed the entire bezel, which is not something that they did back in the day. That's modern technology. But boy, it sure does look good, doesn't it? I'll tell you, that sphere on the dial, the moisture meter, reminds me of the moon. Almost forgot to do this for you. Just can't get enough Lume, can you? Okay, so here we are on the True North website. And these are the watches. Oh, Christ. This thing. I always get this pop-up here. And we'll go to, well, I think we just scroll down here. No? Okay, we got to click. Okay, here we go. So these are the versions. Now, they have a quartz version, which goes for $245, and they've got the mechanical version that on here is $337. Now that's interesting because that's not a terrible price. That's a pretty good price actually for this watch. I've seen them on eBay being listed for $100 or more. So just go directly to the website here. Oh, I get it. The aged project. So that's probably not what I have. I've probably got just the Blackfish US dial. That's what I'm guessing. I'll have to go back and look at my listing. I've got the aged project one here. I don't know if they'll tell us the difference, but you guys can read this. You can, I'll read it for you. Blackfish classic design meets modern accuracy. 41 millimeter. Well, that's nice. Inspired dive watch that celebrates the classic lines of vintage aesthetic. I want you to look how that word is spelled, which is correct. You know, I got a pet peeve about the way people pronounce that word. Coming from me, the Palooka, with the Palooka Watch Channel. Aesthetic of the iconic dive watches from the 1960s. Now, I don't know why they didn't mention it, but they should have mentioned the iconic Blancpain dive watch. Dive watch from the 1960s, featuring a dome scratch-resistant sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating, along with two movement, case, and dial options. I'm sorry, didn't see the little comma there. Each watch is hand-aged with unique vintage lume. Okay, there we go. Ooh. And they got a bunch of images of the watch. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, this looks like I'm wearing it, right? Let's go to the specs. Steel case with rotating bezel, 41 millimeter wide, 20 millimeter lugs. That's the width for your band. I know most of you here know that already. Thickness of 13.5 millimeters, stainless 31.6 L, so that's good quality stuff. Hand applied aged lume and classic dial, dome sapphire coated mineral crystal. So that's, you know, up here it says scratch resistant sapphire crystal. Those are not the same thing. Those are not synonymous. So just be aware of that if you're looking to buy one. Domed coated mineral, dome sapphire glass crystal. Okay, so I guess I'm going to take a guess that this one is coated and the more expensive one is the sapphire glass. Stainless steel screw off back, Miyota 9015 automatic hacking movement, rated to 100 meters, mil spec NATOP. Okay, they fixed that, fellas. It's NATO and all caps strap. Aged Patina Project. Aged Patina Project. With the Patina Project, our goal was to add 30 years of age to your blackfish. In order to create this tropical rust, we developed an oxidized patina method that allowed us to control the aging, resulting in the perfect recreation of a time-earned patina dial with warm yellow lume added as a finishing touch. Each watch is hand-aged with vintage lume. No two watches are the same. Let's get to the movement. So it's the Miyota, which is Citizen, 9015 automatic, 24 joules. There it is, 28,800 beats per hour. So that's a good movement. That's a really good movement. It's my first Miyota movement, so we'll see how that works out. Finishes, case, polished or sandblasted finish. Sandblast would be more accurate for a military version watch. Hands polished steel with Swiss C3 Super Luminova and aged for warm vintage patina. These are painted white, which is what you actually want for the military vintage dive hands. This is correct. Let's see here. High quality NATO strap. They got NATO correct there. Water resistance, just 10 ATM is the same thing as saying 100 meters. Assembly, warranty and return. And that's it. Now, here's the thing. Look at this. He's got Jeeps here. Jeeps. Now, you guys know what I'm all about with the Astro van, right? The 4x4 Astro van. Check this dude out. He's doing these True North Edition Jeeps, where he's basically making them look kind of like Land Rovers. He's cutting the roofs off. He's putting these I don't know if he's having these things custom made, like the roof parts. So he's been written up in Motor Trend, Motor Biscuit, Uncrate, High Consumption, Hype Beast. I would suggest if you guys are interested, go to the website and check it out. Let's see, is there one available? No, these are all sold. So these are all custom one-off builds. I'd like to hang out with this guy. I'd like to talk to this dude. Look at this thing. That's a Jeep, man. Oh, good. They're going to play a little movie for us. Look at this. So I think it's pretty cool. This is a cool thing. This is an interesting character, whoever this guy is. I believe they're based out of Los Angeles, so maybe there's a chance I can meet this character. Retail Archive, the gallery. So I'm going to take a guess here that that's the owner right there. Isn't it funny? I mean, we could practically be related, me and this character. I think he's got a few years on me. This is funny to me. But this is a guy that digs on cool stuff. He's got a cool style. He's got his own watch brand. I mean, gee whiz. How neat would it be, like, for you to, if you could figure out a life where you can make that stuff happen, right? Not everybody has good taste. But thank God people with good taste make cool stuff, because then anybody can buy something cool. Archive sale. All right. So these are all his watches here. Anyhow, he's got a press page here, so you can look all this stuff up. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm going to let you guys go, but we have one last look here. The thing I loved about a dome crystal is when it's on my wrist and I glance on it or glance at it when it's kind of at this angle. It tickles me. I feel like I want to put a domed crystal on every watch I own. I cleaned that off, but I left it. I left it in here because I thought it looked cool. So that's it. True North Watch Company. Really the Tornek-Rayville copy, homage, whatever you want to call it. Pretty cool. You guys, you know what the back looks like already. It's just pretty neato, man. Neat toe watch. Stay tuned, because I will be doing a review when the Thorn gets here, and I'll be putting these all next to one another again. So the Seiko is about almost a millimeter wider. It looks a little bit bigger, but I think it's just because of the bezel itself. It's got a thicker rim that you can see. And also, I think this is lacking. You see how there's a metal ring around the sapphire, or around the crystal here on this watch? I could be wrong. I'm going to have to go back and look at the original pictures. I thought there was one supposed to be here as well. So if that appears on the original Tornek-Rayville, then that's something that they missed here. But again, you can't, look, for the price he's asking on this watch, that's nothing compared to what a genuine Tornek-Rayville, even if you could find one, would go for. I keep taking it off the screen. That's it for now. You guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out his website. And if you're into military watches, I don't see how you can beat this. Now, as we know, it's only 100 meter rated. You're not going to use this for real diving. But hey, if you're surfing, if you're going to do a little, my favorite thing in the world, snorkeling, this is fine. This will be fine for you. It's not as heavy duty, obviously, as the original, but you can't expect that. Very cool looking watch, wears well on the wrist. This would even work well for people that have a smaller wrist. Anyhow, you guys have a great day. Be good to one another. Hopefully